Welcome back. Today's topic is uses of microorganisms. In our daily life, we are making many food items with the help of microorganisms. You will be surprised to see this that the food items like curd making from milk is done by the help of lactobacillus bacteria. We can do a small activity. We will take some warm milk into the bowls and put a small amount of curd in it and allow it for some time. After 4 to 3 hours, you will see that it slowly converted into the curd. How it happens? In the milk, there is a presence of casein protein, and by the action of this lactobacillus bacteria, this protein casein is converted into the this sugar lactose sugar converted into the lactic acid, and the curd is prepared. One more thing, that idli, dosa, dhokla, these all food items are also prepared with the help of some fungus. Baking of bread, pastries and cakes. Baking of bread, pastries and cakes by the action of again microorganisms. Some fungus yeast is used there. This yeast is mixed with the flour, and fermentation takes place, and after that the baking process, baking items are prepared. The another use of microorganisms is at commercial level, at big level. These are known as commercial use. Commercial uses means the industrial process of tea, tobacco, coffee, vinegar, they are all prepared. Tea, coffee, vinegar, at the industrial level, at large scale, these are prepared. Look at this definition. You should note down this in the notebook. Fermentation, the process of conversion of sugar into alcohol by action of yeast is called fermentation. That is given by Louis Pasteur. The scientist Louis Pasteur first introduced this chemical reaction. Now, some medicinal uses of microorganisms. That means in the medical science, some antibiotics are prepared by the help of some microorganisms. What are antibiotics? The question arises. These are the microorganisms, living microorganisms like some bacteria and fungi, which kills or stops the growth of disease causing microbes, which are called pathogens in our body. So these antibiotics are suggested by the doctors, and when we are taking some dose of antibiotics, so we are able to treat the infections, against the infections, or to cure the diseases. Some common examples of these antibiotics are: one is tetracycline, and chloromycin, aureomycin, and very common example is nowadays against the corona disease, they are using azithromycin. So these are some examples of the antibiotics. Precautions also to be taken while we are using the antibiotics. Before I tell you these precautions, I would like to mention here a very important thing. The first antibiotic, that was penicillin. This antibiotic was discovered first time. Penicillin was the first antibiotic introduced. Doctors suggest antibiotics, and we should take precautions also, because we must complete entire course of antibiotics in our treatment. During the treatment, doctor prescribed us, and so that the complete destroy the disease causing pathogens in our body. We should not take these antibiotics when not needed or not required, because some wrong doses or some excess of antibiotics also cause harm to our body or organs. The another use of microbes are production of vaccines. What are vaccines? Actually, vaccines are used to protect human animals against the diseases, and the process or providing the immunity, this process is called vaccination. When what is immunity actually? Immunity means the ability of one's body. What is immunity means? Ability of one's body to resist a disease, and this immunity can be maintained or by increasing by providing the vaccines and the vaccination process. So what is vaccine? Vaccine is a small dose of that and weakened disease causing microbes, particular microbes of that disease. They are used to stimulate immune response, means to say that increase the antibodies in our body against that particular diseases. For example, some vaccines of polio vaccines, that is known as OPV, oral polio vaccines, very common, and some vaccination against the tuberculosis, smallpox, measles, and BCG is one more technique of vaccines. BCG, that means it protects against the tuberculosis. So some examples I am writing here. OPV for polio vaccines, BCG is one of them. DPT, that is also used for tetanus, diphtheria and pneumonia. So these three examples are given here, that is vaccines. So let me reconnect you with the topic again. The first use we have seen, making of food items. That was the first use which I explained you today. The second use is that is commercial use. Third one is medicinal use. We have seen. And fourth one, the microbes are also used to increase the fertility of soil. Increasing soil fertility. In previous chapter, you have seen that some nitrogen fixing bacteria are Rhizobium bacteria, Nitrosomonas bacteria, they are helping in the conversion of the nitrogen into the nitrates and increase the fertility of soil. So they are also helping. And one more use I want to tell you, that some bacteria and fungus are work like a cleaning agent of the environment. So cleaning the environment. Some bacteria and fungus, decompose them, and they are used as cleaning agents of the environment. So in this topic, uses of microorganisms, we should surprise that microorganisms are used in making of food items, in curd making or something. Commercial uses are there for the industrial uses in the tea preparation, coffee preparation, vinegar, and medicinal use. They are used in preparation of antibiotics, and some vaccines are prepared by them. Increasing soil fertility in the soil, some nitrogen fixing bacteria are increasing the soil fertility, and cleaning the environment means that and decaying process takes place by the bacteria and fungus. So that is uses of microorganisms. Last part of this chapter is harmful microorganisms. It is clear now that microorganisms are very harmful. They cause diseases, many diseases. So these microorganisms are called pathogens. I should write here disease causing microbes in human or animals are called pathogens. These may be some harmful bacteria, these may be some viruses, some fungals, etc., and responsible for the diseases. And these diseases which are spread by coming in contact of the physically to the persons and by air, water, food. So these are called communicable diseases. So I should write here communicable diseases. What type of category is this? The disease which spread with the person to person, spread from infected person to healthy person. And there are different modes, maybe by air, by physical contact, by water also, by drinking water, so there are these diseases are called communicable diseases. For example, some common examples of these diseases are like cholera. In this disease, the infection of the stomach takes place and loose motions are there, and this is because of cholera bacteria, Vibrio cholerae bacteria. One more is tuberculosis, that is also called TB, that is also a bacterial disease. And common cold, and very famous disease nowadays, that is due to the COVID-19 corona. It is because of virus infection. So these are some examples of communicable disease. Some diseases are spread through insects and animals. There are some insect and animals which act like the carrier of these disease causing pathogens, and these animals are called vectors. What they are called? Vectors. Disease causing pathogens are carried by animals, birds भी हो सकती and maybe the insects. These are called vectors. So these diseases are categorized as vector-borne diseases. These vectors, for example, are housefly, mosquitoes, so these are also spread the diseases. Housefly, when the infected food, or we can say some dirty materials or some sewage are there, and some houseflies are carrying some harmful microbes, and with the food materials or with things which are open in the market, we are eating some street foods or something, we should be very careful about them. They should be covered. Some diseases like cholera, dysentery, tuberculosis are caused because of these vectors, houseflies. And mosquito, they also play a very important role in spreading some diseases like malaria and dengue. The very important difference between two type of diseases we should know. Malaria is caused because of one vector, that is mosquito, Anopheles mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito. These are responsible for spreading the malaria, and the pathogen which is responsible for this disease is Plasmodium. This is a protozoa, means malaria is a protozoal disease and vector disease. One more is dengue. Dengue is a wild female Aedes mosquito. It is carried by, this is the vector, and pathogen is dengue virus. The difference between the malaria and dengue is, malaria is Plasmodium disease, protozoan disease, and dengue is the virus disease. And you see how can we prevent from them? We should use the mosquito repellent and net also, and also we should clean our house or our surrounding so that these mosquitoes cannot be breed. So we can prevent against this harmful disease. Microorganisms are also very harmful in plants also. In some crop plants and some plants, they cause diseases. Very common one are like wheat, rice, potato. These are common plants, crop plants. You can see many diseases are there. And some fruits like orange, lemon. Also some diseases are appears. So what is the microorganisms are playing a role? So like rice, the plants diseases are there. They are transmitted through seed, airborne diseases, seed-borne diseases, airborne diseases, and one more is there, that is soil-borne diseases. Means microbes may be present in the seeds, air, and through the soil or water. So these common diseases affect the plants. These plant disease can be controlled, but some examples of some disease like blight of potato and rice. In the rice plants, some leaves are affected by the bacteria, and in the sugarcane plants, you have seen the red spots are there. These are red rot, fungus disease it is. And in the citrus canker, one more disease is the citrus canker disease. This is a bacterial disease, and generally you have seen on the cover of the lemon and oranges some round patches, brown patches are there. It is due to this bacterium, citrus canker disease. And one more is yellow vein mosaic disease of virus on the okra, bhindi. These are also having some type of disease, but they can be controlled. How they can be controlled? By spraying some chemicals. By spraying the chemicals on the crop plants, we can prevent our crops against such diseases. One more thing is very important, that is called food poisoning. Food poisoning is also a very common disease in the human beings because of the taking of unhealthy or some spoiled food items we are having in our diet, so these things can be happening. The food is becomes poison for us. So we should keep our food items proper covered, or proper refrigerations or temperature is required to them. So some microorganisms are grow there, and these toxic substances are produced there, and the food becomes spoiled. So we should be very careful about that. The two bacteria, Staphylococci. I am writing the name, Staphylococci bacteria, which is cocci means round in shape, like this shape bacteria. And one more is there, that is the Clostridium. These two bacteria are responsible for the food poisoning. We should be prevent our food items from the infections of these. Some methods of food preservation should also be discussed here. Let us see how can we prevent our food preservation. Food preservation. This is the technique by which spoilage food of the prevented using some chemicals, and by some physical methods we can protect our food from spoiling. Some methods are there which is mentioned in your textbook also. Chemical method. The first one is chemical method. Some chemicals are like that. These are called food preservatives, like sodium benzoate, or some chemicals are mixed into the food items, so that citric acid, we are using citric acid also there, and potassium metabisulfite, which are used in the jams, with this jam preparation. These are used in sauce, fruit jams, jellies. Some preservatives are used. One more method is there, that is preservation by common salt. Preservation by using common salt. Common salt means the salt we are using in our food items, cooking items, simple salt. The fish, meat are covered with common salt, so that the moisture inside them can be come out. And for example, suppose you are having some raw mangoes, you cut the mango, and mango slice, you put a small amount of salt. What will you find? Some water will come out. So this is another technique to stop the growth of microbes there. And we can also preserve. You see, our grandmothers or grandparents are preparing some amla, raw mangoes, tamarinds are preserved by the use of common salt. One more common method, preservation by using sugar. You have seen in the festival times your mother is preparing some sweet dishes like matris or some food items, and she is using the sugar syrup there, chachni is there. This reduces the moisture content of the food items and prevent it from the food spoiling. Like jams, jellies, some squashes are also preserved by the sugar. Murabbas also. And one more common method in our kitchen, we can say preservation by using oil and vinegar. Vinegar is generally used in the, you see, the salads, onion salads are keeping their food, prevent the spoiling from spoiling. And mustard oil is also widely used as a in the fruit and vegetables are keeping in them, like pickles, the mango pickles, the amla pickles, these are prepared by using the mustard oils. Meat and fishes are also preserved by this method. One more scientific method given by the news culture, that is pasteurization. This is the scientific one, pasteurization. In this liquid, or we can say the milk is heated up to the 70 degrees Celsius, up to the 70 degrees Celsius, and for 15 to 30 seconds, and immediately the temperature is bring to the 10 degrees Celsius, and during this time the food is prepared for long time. So for milk is preserved by the pasteurization. You have seen the milk which is we are purchasing from the market in the polybags, that is written here pasteurized milk. So means the cold places we can keep them. These bottles, the food juices are also preserved by this method of pasteurization. So this is the very Louis Pasteur gave this technique, and highly mechanized techniques it is. Some more method is there by cooling or freezing the substances at low temperature by cooling and freezing. We can preserve these food items by taking them up to the 10 degree, 4 degree Celsius, and the food items can be prevent from spoilage. You got it what I am saying? The spoilage means the microbes should not be grow there. This is the preservation or prevention methods. One more is canning or vacuum packing methods. Canning means some food items are and vacuum packing. The potato vapors or some cane items you are purchasing from the school canteens, these are preserved by this method, vacuum packing method. In this vacuum packing method, the nitrogen gases are filled, which prevent the food items from rancids. One more method is eighth method I am writing here, by heating the substance. During the cooking of the food items, you have seen mother is cooking any food item, so she is using this common method, heating them. Like milk is heated, we boil the milk and prevent it for the long time. One more method, it is the ninth one, dehydration method. Dehydration means putting some vegetables, fruit pieces into the sunlight so that they can be dried. The water is vaporized from there. One more thing is there, some grains. When we purchase some grains from the market, that time wheat, rices are kept into the sunlight so that these can be dehydrated. So less chance of the spoilage is there. Now the last topic is nitrogen cycle. Why this topic is included here? Students, you all know that our atmosphere is consist of 78% of nitrogen gas, and this nitrogen gas is converted into some nitrate compounds or some ammonifying compounds in the soil with the action of microorganisms. So this is a very important role of the bacteria and fungi are there, and algae is also there, that converted the nitrogen into the nitrates. So this cyclic process of the nitrogen from the air being fixed by the use of plants and animals, and again it is returned back to the air. So this is the cyclic process of the nitrogen in the atmosphere of Earth, and this is called nitrogen cycle. This nitrogen cycle is completed in the following 5 steps. Focus on these one by one. The first one is nitrogen fixation. What is the verbal meaning of this? That atmospheric nitrogen is fixed into the compound forms, and it is taking place in the air. When the lightning and thunder takes place in between the clouds, that time very high anomalous temperature is produced. At that time, oxygen molecules are joined with the atmospheric nitrogen gas and form this unstable ion compound that is called nitrate. When this nitrate is mixed with the water molecules, it changes into the nitric acids in the form of acid rain. and comes downwards towards the soil. One more thing is there, some bacteria play a very important role, that is rhizobium bacteria. In your previous chapter you have also studied, in the crop leguminous plants, root nodules are there. There is presence of this nitrogen fixing or symbiotic bacteria, which change the nitrogen inside the soil into the nitrate compounds. These two steps are there. That is called biological fixation, and that is called atmospheric fixation of nitrogen. That is clear? One more step is there, that is called nitrogen assimilation. In your class 7th of nutrition in the animals, you have studied about the steps of assimilation of food substances, means settle down. The digested food is settled down. Same like that, this nitrogen compound is in the form of inorganic form. In the soil, they are present in the inorganic salt form. And this inorganic salts are changed into the organic salts, organic compounds. So what is the basic difference? That inorganic means there is no hydrocarbons are there, no carbons are involved. But in organic compounds, some carbon are also involved there. So there is again role of bacteria and fungi in the soil. The third step is there, that is known as ammonification. Ammonification means ammonia is there. Children, you know that in our body and in plant body, nitrogen is present. In which form? Of course, not in the gas form. It is present in our body in the form of proteins, known as animal proteins and plant proteins. And basically, proteins are amino acids. This is the functional group, that is the indication. NH2, I have mentioned here, NH2 means it is the symbol of protein. These proteins are converted into the ammonia. We are also taking in our diet some proteins, milk protein, food proteins, and they are converted into the ammonia form, gas form. We are releasing out as excretion. Is that clear? So ammonia is the gas produced, and in our body there are E. coli bacteria and some helpful bacteria which change the protein into the ammonia. Same in the plants also. So you see the traveling of the nitrogen element. Now nitrification. When this ammonia in the soil come into the contact of nitrobacter, Clostridium nitrobacter, these are bacteria. They convert them into the nitrates forms. Means nitrification. The nitrogen is fixed into the form of oxides compounds, nitrate. And the last one is denitrification. It is just opposite of them. You see, it is the inverse form. Here ammonia is changed into the nitrates by the nitrobacter, and inside the soil again one more bacteria, that is Pseudomonas bacteria, which change these nitrates into the nitrogen gas. Not back into the ammonia, it releases into the nitrogen gas in the air, and again nitrogen gas in the air. So children, you see the circulation, cyclic form. Atmospheric nitrogen is changed into the nitrate, then this nitrate from inorganic compounds to the organic compounds, then this protein is changed into the ammonia, and this ammonia is changed into the nitrates, and again these nitrates are decomposed or denitrifying into the form of nitrogen gas. So this is the complete nitrogen cycle, and you see there is the role of microorganism again. You will also study the same topic in your coming classes in 9th also. So this is the topic where we studied about the microorganisms. Let us summarize this. In this chapter we have seen the first part. I explained you about the different types of microorganisms, their classification like bacteria, fungi, viruses, protozoans, etc. And after that we have seen what are the uses of microorganisms, Then I try to explain you the harmful effects of the microorganisms in the diseases, how they are spreading the diseases and harmful for us. And we have also studied about the vaccination, prevention from the diseases, why again microbes are there. Antibiotics, medicines we are preparing by the again use of microbes. And after that, in the environmental situation, you see the role of microorganisms in the different nitrogen cycle form. So, students, microorganisms are very important for us. Somewhere these are playing a role of friends, and somewhere they are playing a role of fun. So that's all about this chapter. Revise this chapter.